This is your first packaging assignment, and it's going to be to design a label for the strawberry clamshell pack. And I have some examples attached to this lecture, so I really recommend you download this so you can look at them a little bit more. So you're being asked to design a new brand packaging for this company, California Fruit Farms, located up in the Central Coast in Salinas. You are going to be designing the label that's going to go on the plastic clamshell for their strawberry line. So we'll talk more about doing research on this, which is always a real imperative idea. The important thing here, you're going to have some flexibility in the size on this. The area on top of the clamshell is approximately 3 inches by 6 inches. Now you can go horizontal or you can go vertical with it, but think in terms of everyone here has been in the grocery store and you have a pretty good idea of how grocery stores might display this. My guess is most stores will display these horizontally. So I'm not saying you can't do it vertically, but just again, think in terms of who your client is too. Most of the people who buy the food are going to be the people who cook it. So you probably want to think in terms of design that appeals to either women or men. Think of the age group you think who's buying it. Obviously, small children aren't buying this, so you probably wouldn't want to design something very childlike in there. So 3 by 6 is the area. Now you can go smaller if you want, or if you want to design something that's larger and laps over the edge of the clamshell, or even a label that would go all the way around, which we refer to as a belly band on there. We're going to do this in several, I'm going to break this down into several steps here. So there you can see the important dates at the bottom. Research is going to be due next on Wednesday. You should be able to get that done pretty quickly. Thumbnails will be due a week later. And then the work in progress crit on the 24th, the final logo critique on the 2nd. Now that critique is, both those critiques are required. You will need to log in and attendance will be taken. That final logo or label critique is going to be of your design. There is one final piece to this, and that's actually creating a digital mock-up. And I'll walk you through that with videos. And also, if you need to come into Zoom, I can show you live. Here are your steps. So first off this week, research and inspiration. For any assignment, you always want to do research. You never, and the reason for that is the two worst mistakes you can make as a designer is showing a client something that looks exactly like what they already have, or maybe they discarded something a few years ago and it looks like you're regurgitating it. Even worse is showing a client a design that looks exactly like their arch rival. So research, you're going to want to check out what the company is currently using. Go on their website. I'll walk you through how to do that. You'll also want to try and find anything from any competitors. Then you want to do inspiration, and these are things that you think you could maybe take into your final design. It could be a logo you saw for a coffee company and you liked the way the type was done in it. Or maybe you saw a shopping bag that had some graphics or pattern on it that you think might work. Maybe it's a font you found online. Or maybe it's a color palette. That's what I use a lot for coming up with unique color palettes. So again, there's a video to walk you through how to do this and how to create your document. I also want you to start on thumbnails. There's a video to go over doing thumbnails. I really want you to do your thumbnails by hand in a sketchbook or on paper. The reason I want you to do that is oftentimes when you immediately jump on the canvas, your mind kind of goes into the software mode and you lose a lot of your creativity. I can always tell ideas that were created on the computer versus ideas that came from hand, because the computer just tends to really suck all the creative juices out of your initial ideas. You need to design 10 unique and different ideas. What I mean by that, sketch out an idea where, what does this look like if I use a drawing of a strawberry on it? What does it look like if I design a label that is all type? What if I do one in a retro style and it looks Victorian? Or what if I do it in a modern, mid-century modern style? Uh, so think in different styles. All 10 sketches have to be unique and different. I do not want to see one idea with 9 variations. I want you to really push yourself to come up with a lot of different ideas. Now, you're required to do 10. I would do more. One of the things when we talk about thumbnails, you're all working on the same assignment, and I guarantee you the first thumbnails you come up with are going to be identical to absolutely everyone else. So if you want to get ahead in this business, coming up with something that's unique, going through all the obvious cliche ideas first, and then kind of branching off, trying to say, well, I've got these safe designs. How about if I approach this from a different angle? Or how about I look at it differently than anyone else? The work in progress critique and the final label designs are up there. And then the final part here, the digital mock-up. And I'll walk you through how to do that. I have some blank clamshells images, and you'll be able to I'll show you how you can mock your label on there so that it looks realistic. For extra credit, excuse me, you can create a second alternate finished look for the strawberry label. It's always good to have options. In this business, you never would be expected to only do one design. Clients will want to see 3 or 5 unique designs, and they would all have to be good because you can't always count on the client picking your favorite. So one option is to do an alternate look, a totally different design. The other option is to take whatever label you created for the strawberries and do a companion look for some of the other produce. I believe I have blueberries and raspberries, but I can get just about anything you'd like. Here's some examples of current stuff out there. Now, a lot of it looks pretty boring, so here's a real opportunity to kind of step it up. There you can see die cut labels in the corners, designed to go in the corner. Keep in mind, a big part of the selling point with fresh fruit like this is being able to actually see it in the clamshell. So even though you have 3 by 6 inches to work with, make sure you're not covering up the entire top. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to actually see what's inside. Here's a couple more contemporary. I really like some of the graphics in the upper left. Those aren't actually for a clamshell, but the one in the upper right kind of is has a more modern and fresh feel to it. And these especially, I really like the graphics at the top. So even though this seems like a fairly simple assignment, it may seem kind of boring. This is actually a great opportunity. There's so much bad labeling out there in this market that coming up with something that really looks fresh and new, I think, is a great opportunity for you.